pertains to the speech anyway. So this cowboy works sun up to sundown. And every day after work, he jumps on his horse because he'd rather spend time with his cows than his family, apparently. And he says, thank God. And that horse bolts out to the middle of his field, and he says, pause. And the horse stops. And he looks around at everything, and he just says, man, this is great. And he sees the cars up on blocks, because after all, he is a farmer. And he says, thank God. And the horse bolts back to the house. And he gets to the house, and he says, pause. And the horse stops. Well, he goes to sell the horse, and the guy shows up, and he says, can I take it for a ride? And the guy says, well, of course. And he jumps on it, and he says, giddy up. And the horse doesn't go. And he says, go. And the horse doesn't go. And he says, how do I get this horse to go? He says, you just say, thank God. And he says, thank God. And the horse jams. And this guy's jamming down the road. And he says, this is the best buy I've ever made. And he sees up ahead a little thing that says, heart attack cliff. And so he goes, stop, and the horse doesn't stop. And he says, whoa, and the horse doesn't stop. So he calls the guy, and he goes, hey, man, I just bought your horse. I don't, thank God, gets this thing going. How do I get it to stop? He goes, I apologize. Just say, pause. And he says, pause. And the horse comes right up to the edge of the cliff. The guy wipes his brow, and he says, thank God. So what we don't want to do is end up at heart attack cliff. We don't want to be at the bottom with that horse and that rider. Okay? We all remember, and I know we do because I checked with my kids, and they are younger than anybody here. You sat down at the TV, and you were watching something, and Mom came home and said, I've got a load full of groceries that need to be put away, and you guys are helping. Or your girlfriend called, or your boyfriend called, whatever it was. You were away from the TV for 20 minutes. You came back. You missed a couple innings of baseball. You didn't know if Joey ran off with Ross. You didn't know if Batman got killed. So what do we do now? I have one of these little boxes, right? So if we're watching a show and one of you guys says, you know what I want? I want a mustard, onion, sausage, banana, peanut butter sandwich. Or you hear a noise in the garage, somebody's breaking in, you have to shoot them. Or the house is on fire, you can hit pause, take care of whatever you need to do, and then come back and take over from where you left on. Okay? Well, when I was growing up 30 years ago, and Letha and I were married with 4 boys, I worked from 7 in the morning till 6 at night as a Cadillac service manager. Then we had a frozen fruit bar business where we went and sold frozen fruit bars at fairs. Then I would buy cars and I would rebuild the engines or pick them up and stuff, and I'd turn around and I'd sell them. So there, and plus she was babysitting, so there was very little time for pause. Once a year, Cadillac would say, we're taking you on a cruise, we're putting you on a plane, we're putting you up to Banff, Canada, we're putting you to Mexico, we're putting you to Disneyland, somewhere where you can pause for a week. And that was the greatest pause in the world. It was a week long of doing nothing but what Cadillac said we should do. I have a friend in real estate that she says for the last 4 years she has not had a pause. She says she gets up in the morning and her phone is blown up with texts and voicemails. How come my house didn't sell? When's my next closing? How come I can't get this going? Can I interest you in a car warranty? And I said, you've got to take a pause. You've got to do something, because you're going to be lying on the doctor's table, and the doctor's going to have your heart in his hand, and you're going to be under you're going to be knocked out, and you're going to be hearing bzz, 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 and you're going to be saying, Doc, can you just hand me my cell phone? I'm missing a deal. You've got to pause. Everybody has to pause. This would be great if you were working on your lawn or you're working around your house, you had 20 things to do, and your neighbor comes up and says, hey, what about that football game? Or you're in your office and your boss, you've got lots of stuff to do, and your boss comes in and says, hey, I need to just talk to you about. But life doesn't work that way. You can't pause people. You just have to keep on going. I'm retired, but not really. I work buying and selling on Amazon and eBay. So I am constantly shipping stuff to Amazon, or I'm shipping stuff off to eBay, or I'm answering questions all the time. People say, hey, you got that Harley jacket for $150. It says XL, but I've got extra long arms. Can you check the arm length? Can you check to see if it has 2 pockets instead of 1? All these things that I have to constantly answer questions. Now and then I have a $200 item and somebody will offer me 180 bucks for it. Do you want to sell that? Yeah, sure. Or somebody will be really rude. You got that $200 item. Do you want 20 bucks? Can I give you 20 bucks? And then I have to get on a plane, go to where that guy lives, ring the doorbell. When he opens it, I have to smack him in the face for insulting me, right? That doesn't happen, but I wish it would. So when I get all this stuff done by the end of the week, and I look at Wednesday night, and I can turn my phone to silent, and I can shut my computer, and I don't have to answer emails. I can take this thing, isn't that nice? So Wednesdays, that's Wednesday? Wednesday is my pause. It's one of the pauses, and it's one of the best pauses because it's relaxing and I don't have to do anything other than just pause. And I hope that brings you pause.